You're watching New York State High School Lacrosse on News 12 Varsity as we welcome you to Jonh Jay High School for a Tri-State Top 20 matchup featuring the 13th ranked Indians of Jonh Jay and the 4th ranked Cold Spring Harbor Seahawks. Hello everyone and welcome to rainy Katona. Our producer is Josh Noble, and I'm David Resnick. Let's introduce you first to the visitors. Dennis Bond, in his 18th year, 250 victories, leads Cold Spring Harbor, and so too does Matt Licciardi, a 4-year varsity starter. He is a face-off man and midfielder. Off to Cornell as we introduce you to the rest of the Cold Spring Harbor starting lineup, led by the 23 goals of Taylor Stroud. As for Jonh Jay, Tim Schur, 8th season out of Yorktown. Jackson Rieger has been the best offensive player so far for Jonh Jay with 25 points overall, and the rest of the starters for the Indians. So Mikey Tedesco in the white, the aforementioned Matt Licciardi in the red, and the hold is called against the Seahawks to give Jonh Jay the opening possession. A 3-1 start to the season, 3 straight victories after an overtime loss here at home against Manhasset. 5th game of the year, and already Jonh Jay playing 3 opponents from Long Island. In addition to that overtime loss, an overtime win on the road at Smithtown East, recently into our top 20 poll. This is Rieger, 28 in white, 4-year player. It's on net, and Chris Porzelt comes up with the ball. Saving at 55%. Transition here for Cold Spring Harbor. Pushing towards the net, and a lefty shot for Taylor Stroud goes wide. The 2-time defending New York State Class C champs taking over for the first time. 6 straight wins to start the season. A 3-goal victory on Monday on the road at New Canaan, where Jonh Jay head coach Tim Schur was present. Here Stroud feeds the crease. Tough catch and a low-handed rip. Taken there by Ian Laviano, a senior bound for UVA. Just underway into a scoreless first quarter. First meeting all time between these two. The ball slipping out of the pocket of Laviano on his attempted pass, and it's a turnover to Jonh Jay. 12-8, a victory over Pelham last time out. Second straight Section 1 win after opening up the regional slate with a 10-goal victory at Somers. Braden Burke handles across midfield as he gets the touch and eyes the cage. His shot bounces wide. Porzelt, the goalie, closest one to it. Cold Spring Harbor possession. Jonh Jay with a history of polls that will look to score. Burke recovers. Stick check of Teddy Bentley, and a turnover back to the Indians. 2016 All-League, Shahei Kachadurian begins the clear from the back. That's how Jonh Jay has been traditionally built, and they are again this year with 3 defensive players starting for the last 3 years. Rieger will start his dodge from the top. Spin through one defender, a low shot, skips on the wet turf, and Porzelt has his second save. First year as a starter in his junior year, saving now at better than 55%. Far side of the field for Licciardi, successful clear for Cold Spring Harbor, as this offense, 3rd best in Nassau County, has yet to put a shot on cage. 3 minutes gone by, scoreless first quarter. First midfield line out for the Seahawks. Strauss, step down, high to high, and Cacciadorian saw it the entire way. Quick outlet to Rieger, who seemingly doesn't leave the field as he transitions from the attack to midfield this season to be a do-it-all player for Jonh Jay. Sean Nolan taking his time as he flips it up top for Dean Ford. His twin brother Bryce will play the lefty on the attack. Nearly 4 minutes gone by, still scoreless. Left alley dodge, that shot slips out of the pocket. Defended well by Matt DeGennaro. Jonh Jay, closest one to it, and Sean Nolan on the restart. Dean Ford working on a short stick. His shot is wide. Only one in the area is Bryce Ford, and he'll start play from the corner. Early season scouting for Pleasantville, the Panthers of Section 1, Class C, losing to Cold Spring Harbor the past couple of years in the state semifinals. Also an opponent, I believe, of Jonh Jay this year, so a chance to take a look at two contending teams, both in Section 1 in Jonh Jay's case, and Cold Spring Harbor, the two-time defending Class C champs. Extended possession here for the Indians as we approach the 7-minute mark of the first quarter. The sophomore Ford circles around the cage. Finds Bryce Ford. And now it's Nolan from X. Slips by the defender and goes backhanded. Cold Spring Harbor wanted a crease violation. Instead, it's a 1-0 Jonh Jay lead.
Jonh Jay goal scored by number 11, Sean Nolan.
Nolan with a pretty move around the crease, known for his inside abilities and crafty playmaking. 9th goal of the year. Matt Licciardi, clean win, darting down the alley, and he ties it up just like that. Matt Licciardi racing from the face-off dot, and just 9 seconds later ties it up at 1.
Cold Spring Harbor goal scored by number 6, Matt Licciardi.
Even as Jonh Jay has made it to 6 finals in the last 7 years under Tim Schur, including a Class B Section 1 championship in 2010, his first year, the weakest part of the team has probably been the face-off play, as a flag is down in Jonh Jay's favor. They won the face-off there. Menard drops it, penalty assessed. So Cold Spring Harbor is man down, converting 71% of the time. Thought I saw a signal for a technical foul, so a 30-second man up for Jonh Jay. On the crease, a turnaround shot is gobbled up Portzelt denied the opportunity from Nolan as he vied for his second. Tied at 1 midway through the first quarter. Cold Spring Harbor trying to clear man down. Dylan Guarneri got rid of it, falling down. Ground ball pickup for the Seahawks as they're unsettled with the ball bouncing through the crease. Will Reed, a senior bound for Stevens, picks it up. And we're back to even strength. So Jonh Jay getting one shot. Chris Portzelt, who had 13 saves on Monday against New Canaan, came up with another one man down. And this is Licciardi, left alley dodge. Draws the double. Licciardi so quick, gets to the front and puts in his second. Started it from the angle and got to the rack for a 2-1 Cold Spring Harbor lead.
Cold Spring Harbor goal scored by number 6, Matt Licciardi.
A pair of unassisted goals for Matt Licciardi. Many more assists this season than goals, but effective goal scorer when need be, as he's matched up at the faceoff X against Mikey Tedesco. Ground ball for Licciardi. Here's Strow into the box. Unleashes a low shot. It's 3 in a row for Cold Spring Harbor as Taylor Strow is on the board.
Cold Spring Harbor goal scored by number 12, Taylor Strow.
There's talk of face-off men that are make it, take it, and Licciardi is just that. 12 seconds between the goals, the last two for Cold Spring Harbor. For Strow, his 24th on the season. Licciardi flips it behind. Strow has the ground ball, and he'll work it back to his own defensive end. Slow start for Cold Spring Harbor. Did not have a goal in the first 5 minutes. Jonh Jay took a 1-0 lead. But the Seahawks have reeled off 3 in a row and look much more comfortable on this near brand new turf for Jonh Jay as the rain has subsided just a bit. Strow left alley dodge, whistles one outside of the frame. Second game in 3 days for both teams, but for Cold Spring Harbor on their spring break trip, in which they've gone on every single year since 2006, which coincides with their first state championship. Right alley dodge and a rip for McCoy Marion, the senior, misses the target. They left Long Island on Sunday, spent the night in Stamford, beat New Canaan on Monday, came here Tuesday for a practice, and after the game today, we'll head back to Long Island after their extended stay in Connecticut. Warding off, offensive violation called there against Laviano as he tried to create space off the roll dodge. It's a turnover back to Jonh Jay, and Braden Burke, the 3-year starter on defense bound for Duke, has the touch in the box, and Sean Nolan can operate from behind the cage. Sean Nolan with the goal, 6:55 for Jonh Jay. They've gone nearly 4 minutes without a tally as they trail 3-1. Rieger trying to back down. Switches to his offhand. Opposite pass, and a bouncing rocket from Tommy Beebe is off cage. Rieger, sharp angle, easy work for Porzelt. It's Bentley motoring across midfield. Finally picked up by the short stick of Tommy Beebe, caught defensively. 2:30 to go, first quarter, 3-1 the lead for Cold Spring Harbor. Our fourth-ranked team in the Tri-State, behind just Darien of Connecticut, Del Barton of New Jersey, and Chaminade of Nassau County. Licciardi draws the double. It's Strow from the outside. A 15-yard shot wide of the frame. And with 2:01 remaining in the first quarter, Laviano will restart from behind the net. Burke has the defensive assignment for Jonh Jay as Laviano misses wide. They are matched up against each other today and will be future opponents in the ACC as Laviano has signed on with UVA. Short stick matchup on the invert. From the outside, it's Licciardi. Set up there by the dodging Jack Gatto. And it's 4-1.
Cold Spring Harbor goal scored by number 6, Matt Licciardi.
So already a first quarter hat trick for Matt Licciardi, who assisted 4 times on Monday. Bentley taking the face-off there. His stick getting tied up with Tedesco. Timeout taken, Cold Spring Harbor.
Timeout, Cold Spring Harbor.
They've scored the last 4 and in possession with 1:25 to go in the first quarter. Out of the Cold Spring Harbor timeout, 1:25 to go. First quarter, Matt Licciardi, 6 in red, had it momentarily out front, already with 3 goals. Had just 4 coming into the game, along with 19 assists. The reigning Long Island Player of the Year is off to a hot start here in Westchester County. 4-1 Cold Spring Harbor. Strow goes low. Kachadurian this time ready for it. And the rebound after a collision is handled by Jonh Jay. Dean Ford holds on to it between 2 defenders. And gets a touch in the box as the Indians can try to play for the last shot. Cold Spring Harbor, 4-1 lead, 11-9 shot advantage as Ford circles on the invert. Quick passing to the front. Nolan tries a scoop shot. That's interrupted just enough by Aiden Himphy. And it's a restart with 15.9 seconds to go. Flag from behind the play. Jonh Jay is man up for the second time. That explains why Cold Spring Harbor head coach Dennis Bond was none too pleased a moment ago. And instead of force a shot, Jonh Jay will take the man up into the second quarter. Needing a goal after surrendering 4 straight, Cold Spring Harbor, the 4th ranked team in the Tri-State, has a lead on the road of 4-1 over Jonh Jay on News 12 Varsity.
Let's go, Jackson. Good shots, guys. Good shots.
Welcome back to Jonh Jay High School. Start of the second quarter, where the home Indians trailing 4-1 against Cold Spring Harbor, first all-time meeting. Jonh Jay continues its man advantage. High crease, turnaround shot. Just as the penalty was expiring, Sean Nolan pots his second of the game.
Jonh Jay goal, that's his second of the game. Number 11, Sean Nolan.
So goals 9 and 10 so far for Sean Nolan in the first half. Josh Noble, our producer, David Resnick, Rob Heineman providing us broadcast assistance on this still rainy Wednesday afternoon. Second game in 3 days for both teams, as Cold Spring Harbor looking to wrap up an impressive spring break trip and come away with a pair of victories over Tri-State top 20 opponents. Another face-off win for Matt Licciardi, entering at a clip of 63%. He has manned that spot for all 4 years of high school for Cold Spring Harbor. And he's been the leading offensive player as well, with 3 goals in the first half. Laviano's been quiet. Burke doing a nice job shutting him down as Laviano pivots. He bounces one in, a bit weak on Cage, and Kachadorian makes another save. Charlie Murphy presents himself for the outlet, and he speeds into the box, and a touch for the Jonh Jay offense to try to string goals together for the first time and cut into the 4-2 deficit. Jackson Rieger, the catalyst, with a full head of steam. A split dodge on the short stick, and he moves it along to the wing. A bounce shot on Cage from Tommy Beebe, and Chris Porzelt has been up to task throughout the entire game. Nice low save as Beebe tried to take advantage of the turf. Transition, Laviano with one hand, beg your pardon, Kevin Winkoff with the good stick work. And after Cold Spring Harbor came up empty, trying to use the substitution game for an advantage, Stroud moves it right along. Kane Jacklich getting a touch. And now it's Licciardi down the left alley. Look in front, and the put away. Jacklich presented himself on the crease. Winkoff found him. It's 5-2.
Cold Spring Harbor goal scored by number 15, Kane Jacklich.
Tedesco out there on the right for Jonh Jay against Licciardi. Tedesco, just a sophomore, rips that one away, but slow to the ground ball. Beg your pardon, this was Teddy Bentley. And along with the wing play of Jack Gatto, Cold Spring Harbor comes away with possession. So it was the backup Bentley that helped the wing play there, as the Seahawks earn another possession, leading by 3. 3 minutes gone by, second quarter. Licciardi is the type of player that in the ideal world, he would never come off the field. Face-off, offense, defense. But because stamina is not unlimited, he does get the opportunity every once in a while to get a break. Especially in the middle of April. Marion, right alley dodge, draws the slide, Kachadurian gets his stick up just in time. Ball is still loose. It's flipped to an open spot on the field where Jackson Rieger has to spin off the ride of Kevin Winkoff and successfully cross midfield. The deficit is 3, 8 minutes to go first half. Sean Nolan has both tallies for Jonh Jay, the 13th ranked team in the Tri-State. Now it's Jonh Jay using the substitution game to its advantage, creating something a bit unsettled as Rieger misses wide. Jonh Jay moving up from 19th in the Tri-State top 20. 6 spots to 13th. 2 spots behind Lakeland Panis, the only other Section 1 team in the Tri-State poll. Guarnero picks up the ground ball. He has it moving the other way. Gatto is his target. Cold Spring Harbor can set up shop. We'll watch for number 6 in red to see if Licciardi returns to the field after a shift off, and there he is, trotting back on, joining the first midfield line anchored by Taylor Stroud. Marion rounds out the first midfield line on this run. 6:35 to go first half. Strauss, sharp angle, push nicely to the wing. Easy save for Kachadurian. Credit the short stick defense of Tommy Beebe, the Delaware-bound junior. Good ride there by Jacklich, and Tim Schur wants time.
Timeout, Jonh Jay.
Jonh Jay has possession, trailing 5-2, nearly midway through the second quarter. .6:10 to go, first half. Jonh Jay possession out of the timeout. Sean Nolan with both goals, trailing 5-2. Rieger feeds the crease. Here's Nolan in front. He stuffs it in with the flag down. Nolan's got a hat trick. And a slash on top of it.
Jonh Jay goal, that's his 3rd of the game. Number 11, Sean Nolan.
So a nice design for Jonh Jay. Out of the timeout. And the crisp passing leads to an opportunity for Nolan on the crease, who continues his crafty ways around the circle. With Rieger moving from attack to midfield, it's been Nolan that has been the leading scorer at that spot, along with Bryce Ford. Cold Spring Harbor with a man-down face-off, and Licciardi wins it himself, despite the man disadvantage in the face-off game. Jonh Jay had 2 wings out there compared to just 1 for Cold Spring Harbor. Because it was not a technical foul, the penalty sticks. And Cold Spring Harbor down a man with the ball. Cold Spring Harbor is saying there was a deflection. The officials will now conference after originally giving the ball to Jonh Jay with the ball over the end line.
You can't call all the way from back there.
That delay allows both teams to make substitutions. Thor Adamek and Braden Burke doubling the ball. Winkoff carries. Licciardi runs under it. Back to even strength. Stroud against Rieger. Switches to the left hand. It's the side of the net. Kachadurian, trouble with it in the circle. Remains calm. Called up in his freshman year. Started late in 2015. All of last year, and now the full-time starter as a junior once again. Has already made a commitment to Syracuse as he keeps the score 5-3 in Cold Spring Harbor's favor. It was 4-1 at the end of the first. Sean Nolan has 2 of his 3 goals for Jonh Jay in the second. Right alley dodge for Dean Ford, draws the double. Shoots it through the middle for Menard. Ground ball picked up originally by Rieger. Here's Nolan getting pushed down to the turf. Loose ball push. Called by the far side official, who has been more eager to blow the whistle so far. Ford tries to use the screen. Ford gets to the front and pins the corner. Bryce Ford with the individual effort, and Jonh Jay to within 1.
Jonh Jay goal scored by number 9, Bryce Ford.
Under 3 minutes to go in the second quarter. Bryce Ford has his first. And for the first time today, Jonh Jay with consecutive goals. Outscoring Cold Spring Harbor 3-1 in this second quarter. Can Mikey Tedesco at the faceoff X continue the run? Or will Matt Licciardi continue his dominance at the X? It's the wing play of JT Roselle coming up with the ground ball. A face-off win for the Seahawks, and Stroud unsettled. Looked for the step down, created space against Isaiah Rust with the shoulder. It's Rust pulling Licciardi. Extra pass in front and a bounce shot wide. Jakulich had a golden opportunity, but he couldn't convert. Off the restart. Cold Spring Harbor momentarily playing down as Licciardi went to the sideline to exchange his face-off stick for his offensive one. Gatto inverts, liking the matchup against Rieger. Laviano held scoreless today. Licciardi leading the way with 3. He runs into Rieger and whips a shot off target. Jonh Jay, known historically, or known more so for his zone defense, but we've seen nearly primarily a man-to-man, as Rust with the hustle play, getting pushed without possession, ball to Jonh Jay, and with a successful clear, the opportunity to tie, nearing a minute to go in the first half. Laviano into Cachadorian, forcing the error. And with the dead ball, Jonh Jay calling timeout to slow the potential unsettled situation from Cold Spring Harbor. 5-4, Cold Spring Harbor. Seahawks have the ball out of the timeout with 1:08 to go in the first half. .50 seconds to go. Cold Spring Harbor setting up shop offensively, leading by 1. A 4-goal run in the first quarter gave the Seahawks a 4-1 lead. They've gone quiet in the second. Here's Licciardi playing catch with Strow. Licciardi gets it back. A diagonal pass is redirected to the cage, and a reaction stop for Cachadorian, who followed it the whole way. It was probably above the crossbar, but that would have been a tough one for Jonh Jay to allow in. This is Burke looking for a short stick. Jonh Jay out of timeouts. 4 seconds to go. A feed to the crease and a shot high. Patrick Horan presented himself as a target, and his last second effort sails high of the cage. 5-4, Cold Spring Harbor has the lead in a matchup of Tri-State top 20 teams. Halftime at Jonh Jay on News 12 Varsity. Back for the start of the second half. Jonh Jay High School. Wednesday afternoon lacrosse. The Indians of Jonh Jay trailing 5-4 to the Seahawks of Cold Spring Harbor. Tedesco battling Licciardi. It's a one-handed pickup for Rieger. And off the ground ball pickup, it's a turnover. Matt Licciardi with 3 first-half goals, joined by Kane Jacklich and Taylor Strow in the scoring column. Jonh Jay forces the turnover. Here's Sean Nolan. Hat trick to match Licciardi for Jonh Jay. Indians have scored 3 of the last 4. Top midfield line out for Jonh Jay. Dean Ford, Tommy Beebe, Jackson Rieger. The offense has been initiated off of passing as Nolan finds Rieger on the crease, and we're tied. Michael Menard on the doorstep. 5-all here in the second half.
Jonh Jay goal scored by number 19, Michael Menard.
when you start to play the sports transitive property game, which helps a little but doesn't give a full indicator of what to expect, especially on a Wednesday afternoon. Licciardi the win, Strow the blast. Cold Spring Harbor answers right back. Took just 10 seconds to reclaim the lead.
Cold Spring Harbor goal scored by number 22, Ian Laviano.
Last goal scored by Laviano, 22, not the 12 of Strow. Play is stopped for Matt Licciardi. Dennis Bond trotting onto the field to first check on his star midfielder. And then within range of the official to ask him why there was no call. (6-5) on the strength of Laviano's goal. Strow wanted it on the near side. Instead, it's a turnover. Laviano joining the midfield group with Licciardi temporarily out. Cold Spring Harbor is offside. And it's immediately blown dead to put Jonh Jay on the man up. 0 for 2 today with the extra man. 32nd EMO, trailing 6-5. Diagonal pass. Rieger wanted a step down. He rushes a pass to BB, and it's a turnover. Man down for about 5 more seconds. Licciardi is back on. Harassed there by Ford. A catch for Strow, a touch in the box, and back to even. Cold Spring Harbor substituting, up 6-5. Gatto from the top. Laviano from X. Strow still looking for his first, playing catch with Licciardi. Now Jonh Jay comes out in the zone. A worm burner stinks by. Taylor Strow found the corner. 7-5 Cold Spring Harbor.
Cold Spring Harbor goal scored by number 12, Taylor Strow.
So the offensive three-headed monster for Cold Spring Harbor each with at least one goal. Strau and Laviano heard from here in the third quarter after Licciardi struck 3 times. Strau also with the first quarter goal as well to give him 2. Licciardi with Tedesco on his back. Battle for the ground ball. It's picked up by Roselle, and then a flag. It's a hold against Jonh Jay. 32nd EMO for Cold Spring Harbor, their first extra man of the game. $7:50 to go, third quarter. Licciardi moves it. Strau one more. Laviano low to low. Kachadurian in position to ricochet it to the corner. Licciardi through the D. Kachadurian drops the stick. Was ready from the offering from Laviano. Now it's Rust who gets pushed. He was hovering over it, and Laviano, aggressive on the ride, is called for the infraction. Dan Johnston spins. Jonh Jay with 3 pulls that could really handle the ball. And despite the pressure, look relatively comfortable in the clearing game. So Bryce Ford harassed beyond goal line extended. He'll peel away to create some space as the top midfield line makes another run for Jonh Jay. That was a pass to nowhere that Hunter Guarnieri comes up with. Or beg your pardon, DeGennaro, the long stick midfielder, off to Washington and Lee. The alma mater of Jonh Jay head coach Tim Scher. Johnston outruns the Cold Spring Harbor ride. Tim Scher now in his 8th season. A section champ at Yorktown of Section 1. Collegiately at Washington and Lee, played for Jack Emmer, who at one point was the all-time leader in Division I collegiate wins, and played for the USA World Team in '02. An accomplished defender who knows Dennis Bond for a long time from their club days. Tim Scher saying Dennis Bond, also a defensive coach and defensive player on the field, is one of the most fiercest competitors he's ever met. Dennis Bond picking up career win 250 on Monday. Been with the program 24 years, in the last 18 as the head man. .5:21 to go, third quarter. Ford on the restart as the Indians have missed the target a couple of times on this possession. Ford pushed by Marion, got caught on D. Nolan lost his footing, stays out of the crease. Stands back up with the ball still in his cross. And then a pass, short hops his intended target. Marion comes up with it. Cold Spring Harbor in transition. Glances off of Laviano's stick, recovered by Winkoff, and Strauss settles. Believe it was Licciardi, defense to offense. Such a quick player in transition, but also in tight quarters, as we saw him in the first quarter dodge to the cage for goals. Up top is Reed, banging his way through defenders and sends one high. 3:49 to go, third quarter. 7-5 in favor of Cold Spring Harbor. Jonh Jay tied it early in this period, and then Laviano and Strauss with back-to-back tallies for the fourth best team in the Tri-State. Strauss from the outside. Kachadurian watched it wide. Ball is loose. Rust shouldering off Winkoff. Kachadurian providing support, and he comes out of his circle. Cold Spring Harbor wanting to provide pressure. Laviano on Kachadurian with the first appearance of the sun here in the third quarter as Rieger gets a touch. A long offensive possession is empty for Cold Spring Harbor. Jackson Rieger playing defense. He'll be subbed in by Matt Lee. Ford stripped. Great defensive play by the senior Dylan Guarnieri. Dylan out there with his younger brother Hunter. Dylan, a 3-year starter. Nice individual play on the dodge from Ford. George McMichael on for Jonh Jay. Adamak gets a blow. Under 2 minutes to go in the quarter. Laviano wants it. Kachadurian off of his body. Rebound controlled by Cold Spring Harbor. Laviano against a short stick. Right around the defense of Lee. It's to the side of the net. Kachadurian readies himself for Reed, and he clangs it off the pipe. Out of bounds, far sideline. Matt Lee running off the field as Cold Spring Harbor locates a ball to use after the one shot by Reed was over the far netting. That stoppage certainly benefits Jonh Jay, allowing Charlie Murphy, a more natural short stick defensive midfielder, to check in. Strauss left alley dodge, pushed there by McMichael. Now it's Strauss catching it on the run. Under a minute to go. Jacklich takes it behind against the short stick. Double team from Rust is there. Now he takes over primary coverage. A turnaround shot. Kachadurian makes the stop. Jonh Jay controlling the ball. Winkoff had a golden look from a sharp angle, and Kachadurian made another third quarter save. Under a half minute to go. Jonh Jay unsettled. Nothing doing there for Luke Mercer. 12 seconds to go. A blast from up top is knocked down. Never got close to the cage as Mercer picks it up with 3. Mercer spins, fires. It's a save for Port Zelt at the end of the third quarter. Good defensive stand for Cold Spring Harbor at the end of the third to maintain a 2-goal lead. 7-5, Seahawks over Indians. 3 quarters in the books on News 12 Varsity. Well, on paper, a matchup of Tri-State top 20 teams. Cold Spring Harbor, number 4. Jonh Jay, number 13. We expected a great matchup. That's why we're here, and we've been treated to one for the first 3 quarters. Violation against Jonh Jay's Mikey Tedesco, and so Matt Licciardi, another face-off win. Cold Spring Harbor, the 2-goal lead and possession to open up the fourth. Welcome back to now suddenly sun-splashed Jonh Jay High School. Josh Noble, our producer. I'm David Resnick. Rob Heineman providing us broadcast assistance as we ready ourselves for the final 12 minutes of regulation. Cold Spring Harbor, the 8-time county champ under Dennis Bond. More importantly, 2-time defending New York State Class C champs. They'll have the opportunity to defend their title this season. New York State expanding to 4 classes to now include a D classification. Cold Spring Harbor still in C. Katchadurian. He makes the stop on Will Reed. The jump shot circling around the crease. Jonh Jay quickly up the field. Here's Murphy. More defensive-minded, and so he finds Jackson Rieger, who does a little bit of everything except for score today. A team best 13 tallies entering the contest, and he has been held quiet. We've seen a short stick on Rieger most of the day, including McCoy Marion, a more physical defender. Open look, and a lefty shot is off target for Dean Ford. His defender, Teddy Bentley, slipped. Rieger being favored to his right on the crease. Beautiful save, but a flag. Chris Porzelt made the high stop. Nolan denied on the circle. Jonh Jay about to go man up once again. Unnecessary roughness, non-releasable. Could not tell if this was 1 or 2 minutes. Dylan Guarneri took the penalty, blasting Nolan as he took a shot attempt on the crease. Nolan is out there, roaming the circle. That pass deflected. Roselle doing a nice job of interrupting that pass intended for Dean Ford. Jonh Jay 0 for 3 on the man up. Chris passing and the turnaround shot, Nolan. His jump shot wide of the frame. Rieger, step down, skips it wide. About a 12-yard shot. Rieger looking for his first goal. The lefty Forge setting up on the right side. Turnover.
Jump on a man, Jackson.
So far, so good for the man-down unit for Cold Spring Harbor. Now looking to clear and take the final time off the non-releasable. Winkoff makes a run to the cage and then peels away. Cold Spring Harbor still man down. Will Reed running away from Dan Johnston. Now the ball safely into the cross of Licciardi. Thirty more seconds. It was a 2-minute non-releasable. Now back to 6-on-6. Stall warning was on. Licciardi inverting. Licciardi gets a step, shoots high. Stall warning still in effect. Cold Spring Harbor has to keep it in the box. Stroud takes a bump after the release of the shot that's wide. This is Reed. No scoring so far from either side in this fourth. Meant to talk earlier about the sports transitive property where Cold Spring Harbor beat Smithtown West by a goal. Licciardi on the crease, a couple of fakes, and the dunk for Laviano. 8-5 Cold Spring Harbor.
Cold Spring Harbor goal scored by number 22, Ian Laviano.
So while Cold Spring Harbor beat Smithtown West by a goal, Jonh Jay beat Smithtown East in a 1-goal shootout. And then Smithtown East, just a couple days ago, beat Smithtown West by a narrow margin. And so through that, you would give perhaps Jonh Jay a little bit of an advantage that they beat the better Smithtown, but Laviano across the crease, out of the reach of Winkoff. But then Cold Spring Harbor also with impressive victories over Syosset and New Canaan as the Seahawks use their non-league games as a Class C school to play bigger competition. Under 6 to go, 3-goal lead for Cold Spring Harbor. That was a big possession that they picked up at the face-off X. Jonh Jay is hung tough, but they have allowed 3 straight to Cold Spring Harbor. Catching traffic for Jacklich. Ground ball pickup for Jonh Jay. Burke has it. Timeout Indians.
Timeout, Jonh Jay.
So Jonh Jay with 1 timeout left. Cold Spring Harbor with both. 5:16 remaining, fourth quarter. 8-5 Seahawks. Dean Ford draws the flag. It's a push by Ian Laviano. Second team All Long Island selection a year ago. Jonh Jay goes man up. 0 for 3 so far. Jonh Jay, 14 wins a year ago. 5th loss to Jonh Jay in the Class B final since Tim Scher took over. Penalty released. Jonh Jay with just 1 shot. Nolan turns and fires. He's a small target, and yet he plays big on the inside. Matched up there with Bentley. Bryce Ford. Now Beebe from the top. Shot from the outside. Ford skips it in. Chris Porzelt stuck out his leg to aid in the stop. Both these goalies have been locked in today. Kachadurian saving at just 46%. Perhaps today's the breakout performance to get his junior season on track. Right into the breadbasket. Porzelt saw it the whole way. Shooter never changed the angle. And now Bentley over midfield. 3:15 to go. Strauss steps into a shot. Kachadurian makes the stop. Strauss taking the shot early in the offense. Now it's Nolan walking in. Rieger moves it along. Mercer misses the target. Dennis Bond calls a dead ball timeout.
Timeout, Cold Spring Harbor.
Can hear his displeasure, most likely directed to a particular senior midfielder that despite his leading total in goals, did not appreciate a shot at this point in the game. 8-5 the score, 2:55 left, fourth quarter. And Dennis Bond has been taking this spring break trip for the last 10 years. He wants his players to bond. He wants his players to learn what it's like to not wake up in your own bed and go play a game, trying to give those that are advancing to collegiate lacrosse a simulation of the experience that they will face later on. It's been a successful trip over the years for team bonding purposes, and for this year, it appears the Seahawks will come away with a pair of victories. Monday, New Canaan, today against Jonh Jay. Perhaps a bit premature, but it is a 3-goal lead with 2:55 to go. And for Cold Spring Harbor, coming off of a couple of seasons in which they suffered only one defeat, they don't talk about the future. They don't acknowledge that they're looking for a three-peat. But Dennis Bond, in all 18 years of leading this program, he hasn't put the entire playoff schedule on the slate. If you ask Dennis Bond for his schedule, it will include all of the regular season contests and all of the playoff dates leading up to the state championship. Rieger, between defenders, shoots wide. So while they might not talk about it, they certainly eye it as a destination. And this wasn't just something recent with their 3 state championships. On the crease, Nolan sweeps it in. Rieger looked for him on the doorstep, and Sean Nolan has 4.
Jonh Jay goal, that's his 4th in the game. Number 11, Sean Nolan.
Nolan getting Porzelt out of position and shot it to the empty part of the net. So to complete the thought on the Seahawks, the expectation's certainly there, even if they're not spoken about. And for all those associated with the team, they know to reserve dates well into May and June. Adamak took the face-off against Licciardi, looked to immediately just muddle it up, and Jonh Jay comes up with the ground ball. So possession and 2 and change to go, trailing by 2. Jonh Jay playing make it, take it. Ford on the crease. Nolan bounced it in on the cut. Here comes Jonh Jay as Sean Nolan scores his 5th.
Jonh Jay goal, that's his 5th of the game. Number 11, Sean Nolan.
Licciardi immediately into the body of Adamek. He had it for a moment, did Thor. Check from behind. Rieger lost it out of play. Checked out of Bentley's stick. Confusion on possession. It was checked out of the stick of Bentley and out of play. It is last touched by Cold Spring Harbor. Jonh Jay with possession. Very little debate from the Cold Spring Harbor side. Rieger, quiet in terms of goal, fires a shot and rings the pipe. Had a chance to tie with 1:35 to go. Dennis Bond calling for timeout prior to the turnover. He was demanding it on the side, and the trail official was there to watch the entire thing unfold. So Rieger, unsettled, hits the pipe in a 1-goal game, and that whole long diatribe about the game being in hand Ignore that. 8-7 to go, or 1:22 to go, 8-7 in favor of Cold Spring Harbor. Timeout Seahawks as we gear up for an exciting finish. .82 seconds to go. Cold Spring Harbor up by 1. Lacrosse will now become keep away. Licciardi lost the ball. The call against Cold Spring Harbor. Not much of a signal, except that it's going the other way. Johnston taking on the D. Ball is loose. Bodies flying. Reed had it, then lost it. Backhanded play, Roselle. Kachadurian is out of his crease. 35 seconds to go, and it's mayhem on the field. Picked up by Cold Spring Harbor, and Laviano bounces it in. Open cage, taken advantage of.
Cold Spring Harbor goal scored by number 22, Ian Laviano.
.28 seconds to go. And we just saw about 40 seconds of carnage. Wings for Cold Spring Harbor, defensive posture. Licciardi just clamps down on it. And the violation against Jonh Jay. Licciardi with 24 seconds to go will have the restart. Licciardi works backwards, using the full field. Offside the call. Here comes Jonh Jay. And they throw it away with 5 ticks to go. Rieger, with about a minute and a half, had an opportunity to tie, and he hit the post. A late goal for Laviano makes it 9-7. And that is the final score. Successful trip for Cold Spring Harbor. A win on Monday against New Canaan. A win today against Jonh Jay. The 4th best team in the Tri-State taking down the 13th best team in a battle, 9-7. They score 4 of the final 6 after Jonh Jay tied it up at 5. And the Seahawks improved to a perfect 7-0 with 6 of their victories away from home. Once again, the final 9-7. Cold Spring Harbor comes to Westchester and takes down the Indians. 9-7, the final. Cold Spring Harbor from Long Island comes to Westchester to take down Jonh Jay. Matt Licciardi, an early 3 goals, joining us after the game. For somebody that so heavily favors the assists over the goals for the season, what changed for you in that first quarter?
I think just playing smart. We really try to focus on shooting the ball smartly. They had a very good goaltender, big guy. It's tough for him to get down low, so changing planes was a big thing for us. I just found some open lanes, tried to shoot the ball smartly, and put a couple in the back of the net, so it was good.
What does this spring break trip do for you?
I think it's kind of the middle part of the season that really changes it for us. The team gets much closer together. We spend 4 days. It's just us, so I don't know. We grow a stronger bond, and I think that helps the team aspect on the field.
Do you know this guy to your right?
Yes, this would be my little brother. He's He's quite the goon.
I just want to say I'm really proud of my brother. I thought he played great out there.
Is he talking about you or Joe? Right?
I hope he's talking about me.
You guys talk about things game by game, but yet when you look at the schedule, everything is listed all the way to the end. How do you stay focused knowing what you guys have at stake?
Yeah, we try not to look too far ahead. We just focus on the next game, the next team. Coaches do a great job. My teammates do a great job. We play really hard, and I'm just proud of everything we do. Past 2 years have been it's been awesome.
You have that comparison of knowing what it takes. If you could give us the status report of where you guys are, 7 games in the year, are you on track?
I'd say we're on track, but we definitely cannot let up. We have plenty of work to do. Everybody's getting better, and the target just gets bigger on our back every single game. So, we go back home to Long Island, we get back to work, we get to practice, and keep doing what we do.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
9-7 the final. Target is getting bigger as the 4th ranked team in the Tri-State continues to win, and their undefeated season continues into Game 7. For our producer, Josh Noble, I'm David Resnick. Thanks so much for joining us on News 12 Varsity Game Time.